Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Wisdom Artificial Intelligence. So, today is August 11th. It's another hot day here in Boston, and I'm back here by the banks of Charles River on my afternoon walk. Let's go ahead get started for today. Today's dose of RASHMI is integrated intelligence is the ability of human beings to keep our energies intense through the willingness of being an absolute yes to life. So, this dose of Rashmi, the theme is very aligned to the active surrender that I wrote the newsletter about yesterday. And at a personal level, what this means and what being absolute willing to life, regardless of what external situations throw at you, is captured very well in the newsletter that I wrote yesterday. So I encourage you to check that out. For today, I would like to examine this dose of Rashmi from the organizational and the ecosystem level. What does it mean to be an absolute yes to life and the willingness at an organizational and ecosystem level? And this is something that I've talked about in the past in the context of PM squared, that when you start with purpose, external conditions, the market and the money, all of that tends to lose hold on you. You start from what energizes you, the purpose, and build products to serve that. Go after markets. If you have to change markets, if there is a market transition, you do that and money follows. So I've talked about that. And as we were working on the integrated architecture reference document, in keeping with that, one of the things that we kind of settled on was the definition of PM squared. And the initial round of the iteration of that document started with something where we had the statement that the purpose is what you start with, and the purpose is stable. However, as me and my co-creator Morgan iterated on this, we're also reminded of what we often talk about, the purpose that we talk about is not really a fixed objective, because that would just be replacing the word objective with purpose. And then we are again attached to some outcome, and somebody could very easily just use that as an excuse that my objective is to drive the maximum return on investment for the shareholders and investors. And we are in a way back to where we are right now. I mean, I get the logic in that. However, the purpose that we are talking about in this series, as well as the purpose that we want to advance through the integrated intelligence reference architecture, is that there is really no grand purpose other than to follow what energizes you, or what energizes you as a team, and perform aligned action towards what you genuinely care for. And when you define purpose like that, purpose is just something you become. Purpose is not a destination. And that is where I think the ability of human beings to just follow what energizes you. And yeah, it may result in you changing directions, and that is totally fine as long as you're clear about performing aligned action towards what truly energizes you and what you care for as a team. That's why an integrated intelligence organization exists. And that is our definition of purpose. And in a way, that comes back beautifully to the origin quote of this series, because the great thing about being a human and acting out of pure presence and awareness is that you are no longer run by memories. Yes, your memories might define how you have reacted in a particular situation, responded in a particular situation. But the beauty of being human is you don't have to keep doing that anymore. What energizes you is something new in the moment. Absolutely go for that. And that is what it means to be free from memories and imagine new possibilities, which you cannot imagine if you are just operating based on memories. And imaginations just tend to be another permutation combination of the past memories, which is what we get when, say, AI is becoming extremely creative. Yes, it is becoming extremely creative in terms of coming up with permutation and combinations of past patterns and imagining various future states. Our imagining possibilities which are not necessarily constrained purely by memories, that is a uniquely human thing to do, and that comes from being present. Thank you.